Hello, my name is Ken Ingram. I'm the pastor at St. Paul's United Church of Christ in Laramie, Wyoming. I'm also the moderator for the Platte Valley Association and the vice moderator for the Rocky Mountain Conference. In my position as vice moderator of the conference, I am also chair of the nominating committee this year. I would like to highlight a couple of changes that the board has created this year, new positions, and that is Strategic Alignment and Conference Asset and Vision. Mark Dutel from Kirk of the Bonnie Bray will be heading that committee. And Lay Leader Liaison will be is up for election is Mark Long from First Congregational Grand Junction. Mark has been running moderator meetings, and now we're just kind of expanding his title and role into a Lay Leader Liaison. New Ministry Mentorship is will be headed by Lee Burke from Community UCC in Boulder, and that is to go along with our tributary fund, so that as we create opportunities within the tributary fund, that there is a person that they can liaison with the board. We have a couple of other new people coming on. From Metro Denver on the Personnel Committee, we have Adam McCoy, who is from the Broomfield Church, and we also have Reverend Litzka Randall, who is the minister at the Berkeley Church. That is the highlights of what you will see at the annual meeting. I hope to see all of you there in Zoom, and we will talk to you later. Have a great day.
Hello, Rocky Mountain Conference, and welcome to the dance party that is the Rocky Mountain Conference Personnel Committee. This year in the business meeting, the Rocky Mountain Conference Personnel Committee will be talking about my favorite subject, and I'm guessing your favorite subject as well, money. What we'll be talking about is the changes that we are proposing for voting by the membership to the clergy compensation guidelines that are already in place. Those of you who have been to several annual meetings in the past will remember that in 2018, we did some major revisions to the clergy compensation guidelines in an effort to increase our collective salaries. We were at the low end when compared to other conferences. So in the Saturday morning meeting, I will just remind you a little bit of what some of those changes are, highlight those if you will. But then I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about the results of those changes. Those changes have been in place now this is the third year, and they've had a positive impact on our collective salaries. I have good news to report there, and I think you will view it as good news as well. And then finally, recognizing that we've done what we wanted to do, move the needle on our collective salaries up into a much more competitive area, we will conclude with a recommendation on changes that we want to make to that salary model for the upcoming year in 2021 and 2022 to keep it competitive. So come join us Saturday morning as we talk about money.
Hi, I'm David Bristow. I'm a member of the Vista Grande United Church of Christ in Colorado Springs. I'm also the association rep for the Southeastern Association, and I was the lead on the task force set up to review and upgrade the current set of bylaws, which we are now calling the proposed bylaws. The principal driver for the upgrade was to accommodate a new implemented ministry to allow for ministries within the conference to be created that had special skills needs as opposed to simply elected personnel. The major changes that we accomplished relate to Article 7, where we added the new implemented ministry, which we call wider ministries, and we added a definition for task force, as in the previous bylaws. They were mentioned but never defined. We also made some minor changes for grammar and other things throughout the whole document, including changing the inconsistent use of board of directors, board, to just simply board. And we also added the ability for meetings to be conducted electronically in Article 3, and we changed throughout the bylaws the annual meeting to the annual celebration. And that is principally what we've done.
Hello, I'm Shelley Dunham, and I serve as treasurer for the Rocky Mountain Conference. I'm pleased to be here to present our 2022 budget to you. First, I'd like to share that we are recommending a change to the conference's fiscal year. Our current fiscal year is January through December. The difficulty with that is that we develop the budget in February and March, and your conference delegates vote on it in June. So the beginning of the fiscal year is nearly a year after we start working on the budget, and the end of the next fiscal year is nearly 2 years later. A lot can happen in a year or two, making it difficult to do budget forecasting across such a long time horizon. So we are proposing to change the fiscal year to July 1 through June 30th. That greatly reduces the time gap between when the budget is developed and when the fiscal year begins. We think this will make our budgeting process much more accurate and effective. By the way, this also requires an amendment to the conference's bylaws because the fiscal year is defined in that document. So that will be a matter for your delegates to vote on during the annual meeting. Now on to the budget. Let's talk about conference income. The biggest share of it, almost 56% in the proposed budget, comes from you, the congregations of the Rocky Mountain Conference. Thank you for that. Your contributions are vital to our ability to fulfill our stated purpose, inspiring, challenging, and empowering faith and justice communities across the West. However, year by year, OCWM contributions have been steadily declining. We're all seeing that the need to support transformational ministries continues to grow, supporting church vitality and renewal, new church starts, an anti-racism culture shift, providing funding to congregations through In the Mud grants, and supporting innovative and transformative ways to be the church in the 20th century through the new Tributary Fund grants. These are all so important to helping us help you to continue to be the hands and feet of God in Utah, Wyoming, and Colorado. So we need to take a good hard look at our income streams and make sure we have sustainable ways of funding the work and the missions that are important to all of us. As your treasurer, please know that that's a high priority for me, for the Finance Committee, and for the Conference Board. And know that if you have any ideas on how we might best do this, I would love to hear from you.